Over the last 25 years, I've had the privilege of interviewing and highlighting some truly interesting people. Everyone who is anyone, both the famous and the infamous, from presidents and their first ladies to kings and queens, movie stars and pop stars, captains of industry, heads of state, sports personalities, innovative entrepreneurs, and some pretty fascinating everyday people. Today, I'm proud to introduce you to Irena Zubcevic, who is committed to helping others better their lives through her work. Irena, it's such a pleasure for us to get a chance to talk today.
Thank you so much. It's my privilege.
Absolutely. So, Irena, why don't we get started? And if you could tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Sure. I work in the area of sustainable development, but before I talk about that, I would like to put it in the context of my entire career, which started in Croatian Foreign Service. Croatia is a small Central European country east of Italy, and I worked in the area of international relations, diplomacy, peace building. And through this work, I also worked in international development, and I gained experience in political judgment, in advocacy and outreach, but also how to translate global strategies into concrete national policies and agreements. And that's when I realized that development cannot be beneficial to people unless it is sustainable. And it might seem very abstract when you say to some people, when you say sustainable development, what it means, but when it touches our everyday lives, then it becomes very concrete. And just a small example, when I was working in a small island of Samoa, which is a small Pacific island state, I had a friend who had an ocean in her backyard. And it might sound great, having ocean in your backyard. But when she saw that every single year the ocean was closer and closer to her house, then there was a problem. So she understood that something has to be done about it. So sustainable development is really about lives of people and how it touches their lives and how they can have better lives, how they can share economic benefits, how their societies can be more inclusive and more equal, and that everybody is treated in the same way, regardless of their ethnic origin, race, socioeconomic background. It's really about everybody is a human being and how to make their lives better. So that's why I feel so passionate about sustainable development.
That is amazing, Irena. And how does it manifest itself in the work that you actually do with the United Nations? How does your work with the United Nations contribute to the mission of that organization?
Well, actually, United Nations was established 75 years ago. We are going to celebrate the 75th anniversary this year. And it was established to make the world a better place. And I believe that sustainable development is doing the same. And really, United Nations is doing everything in development area to make it sustainable, especially after the past five years, since all the countries agreed to have development that will be sustainable, which means we have to share everybody has to share the benefits, everybody has to have equal access to opportunities, and we also need to think about future generations and what we are going to leave to them and what kind of planet we are going to leave to them. Are we going to have healthy forests, healthy oceans? Are we going to really, have the climate that we want that is not destroying people's lives through cyclones or floods or anything like that? So it's very much compatible with the work of the United Nations, and that's what the United Nations is actually doing in the area of development, is that it's sustainable.
You outlined so very clearly what your work and what your mission is. But I want to ask you very directly, in what ways do you feel that your work will make a positive difference in our world?
Well, I think that through empowering people and making them aware, realizing what they can contribute themselves, then they can also, that is also helping others. And I think what is really important is this empowerment of people, because unfortunately, for many years, international development consisted of people who knew something, came somewhere, then they stayed there for a few months and then they left. And there was nobody to actually follow up on all the good things that they might have done. So what is important is really to build capacity of everybody and to empower everybody. So when you come there, and there is a very good saying which says that if you give somebody a fish, you have fed them for a day. If you give them a fishing rod, you have fed them for life. So that is important. And people all over the world, and I have been traveling and working all over the world, are really smart and dedicated, and they really want to make their lives better, their societies better. And if you show and empower them and give them opportunity to learn and to become experts in what they are doing so that they can empower other people, that is really making the difference in people's lives.
Irena, what do you think is the most rewarding aspect of what you do?
Well, actually, exactly that, to see that you are making a difference in people's lives. So it's if you can identify through my experience, I'm able to identify what the issues are, what the problems are in certain areas. I've been working in areas of oceans and transport and climate change in particular, but also helping societies really attain sustainable development and how to do that. So when I come and I see where in a country and when I look at what they are doing and how they are developing, I can identify the issues, and then I can help them and say, look, this is what has to be done, and then I can help them with concrete projects on the ground to have that done, and then you really see the difference in people's lives.
I'm fascinated by the fact that you worked and traveled all over the world in this area. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences abroad?
Sure. I mean, this is such an enriching experience. It's a wonderful experience. And even, working at United Nations here in New York in the headquarters, I lead a team of people who come from all over the world. And everybody brings their own culture, their own ways of thinking. And it's wonderful. It's so enriching because you learn a lot, you give, but you also get. And working in different and understanding what it means, because it's oftentimes if you come with your own set of mindset and you come into somewhere and you want to make a change, but you don't understand all the nuances of a culture and what it means to them, you might not be doing the right thing. So really understanding what the culture is, how how people live, what is important to them, and then how they can make their lives better through that culture. So not imposing your own values. And this is really great. I mean, it's so enriching and it's really wonderful.
I absolutely am thrilled to hear that you work towards not just diversity, but diversity and inclusion. The ability to have diversity around the table where you're making decisions and effectuating policy, but the inclusion is bringing in the culture of the people that are around that table. I think that is so absolutely important towards truly building a fair and equitable society that can be sustained across the world. So I completely applaud your efforts in that. Irena, just tell me, what are the goals that you're working toward right now?
Well, what I'm working right now is I'm helping and assisting different countries, but it's not only governments. When I say countries, I mean everybody there: civil society, scientists, the business sector, communities, everybody, to really attain a better life for themselves, and to show what can be done if you do it in a sustainable way, as you just rightly said. What are those things? Because it's not only that you amass assets and all of that. That's not the point. It's really about sharing. It's about sharing the benefit.
What a wonderful, wonderful goal. Irena, as we come to the end of our time together, what's the one thing you'd like a viewer of this video to walk away with?
Well, I think that one thing would be that everybody can make a difference. It's no way you can think about yourself. Oh, I'm just one person, so what does it? It doesn't make any difference what I do. It does, because if each of us makes one difference in other people's lives, or if we change one thing in our lives to make the environment better, or make the life of another person better, then we have done a lot. So that is one thing I wanted to say. You can start from yourself. You can make a difference yourself. Start from where you are and try to do that. And if you make a difference in another person's lives, and if you empower another person, you have done a lot. And everybody would do that in the world, we would be in a much better position to be in a really world that we would really like to have and be proud of.
You know, Irena, I really and truly do agree with you. We are perfectly aligned. I remember reading somewhere a quote that sticks with me. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference, that you have lived and lived well. It's the action, not the fruit of the action, that's important. And I believe that so strongly. And I think it is truly indicative of the kind of work that you're doing and the purpose-driven life that you're leading. So thank you very, very much for sharing your passion with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.